Esta noche en Sábado Gigante, it's Chilaquiles. Soy Rick. We are making chilaquiles today. It's basically kind of whatever you have from leftover. It's not a complicated meal. It's just a really good, oftentimes breakfast meal. For this, because we don't have any leftovers, I'm actually going to make a green sauce. It's a sauce that I like a lot. It's super easy. It's a roasted tomatillo sauce. You roast the vegetables, throw it in the blender, then take rotisserie chicken or a leftover piece of chicken, shred it up, toss them together, and ladle it over your fried tortillas. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make the sauce. So we have jalapeno, we have poblano, we have cubanelle, we have some green onion, we have a white onion, some fresh oregano, garlic, and tomatillos. And because it's me and I like animal fat, I'm using schmaltz. You don't have to use schmaltz. You can use lard, you can use olive oil, you can use vegetable oil. You just need a little bit of fat to help everything roast evenly. You can do this definitely without any fat if you were watching what you ate. So I'm going to season this pretty liberally. So the thing that the oil does, the heat is evenly distributed when you coat the surface in fat. If you just left this dry, it's not going to brown quite as nicely. The fat just gives an extra layer of absorption for all the heat that's going to be bearing down on all these veg. Since we're using chicken, it's just going to intensify all the umami and the chicken flavor that is going to be in the rotisserie chicken. We're going to pick that up in the veg as well. We definitely want everything to be soft. We want a little bit of caramelization, but yeah, not a whole lot. Okay, can I just stop right there? Okay, we literally bought this package today, right? Check this out. These are already cracking because they're dry and disgusting, okay? This is what you get, unfortunately, in the United States when you buy packaged tortillas. I just wanted to show you the difference between this and this. This is a homemade tortilla and this is Mission. First of all, they shouldn't be dry and cracking like just out of the bag. They should at least be like somewhat fresh.
Rick, I think you could use this as like a drink coaster.
I wouldn't even dirty the bottom of my glass with this. So when I actually go to the store and I'm shopping for corn tortillas, if you can find ones that have a little condensation on the inside of the bag, that is at least a hint of indication that they were packaged somewhat fresh and that there's still moisture present. They should also not be sticking to one another. So a lot of times what I'll do is I will literally pick up the bag and then just give it a little twist. Now, once you've made your purchase, what I tend to do is I'll just put it on a low flame, just put it directly on the burner, get a little bit of the black marks because it's going to actually pull out some of the corn flavor. And that the charring will give you a little bit of bitterness, which will actually compensate for the sourness of the preservative. So that is how I cope with corn tortillas in the U.S. But if possible, it is really, really a game changer when you start making your own corn tortillas. All right, so what we want to do, and I'm going to fry up some of these just to show you how they fry up. There's no real, set way on how you should do this. I like strips, usually about half an inch, but it's kind of fun to do little bitty strips. You can also just break them up into pieces if you wanted to do that. This is probably the way that you might see them in Mexico. These are really good. I'm going to go ahead and give these another little cut. I'm going to keep these separate because I'm not sure that they're going to cook at the same speed. So we're going to fry these at 350. I've got about 3 inches of oil in this large pot here. I'm going to go ahead and drop these in. As much as I shit on store-bought tortillas, I will say that once they're fried, they're actually really good. You want to move them around a little bit so that they don't stick to one another. You can actually pull one out to test it, but they'll get slightly golden brown. This is super hot, so don't do this at home. But you can see it's still a little bendy. It's not completely crisp. So we're going to keep it going. So you can see they're starting to go brown now. I'm going to go ahead and pull them because they will actually continue to brown as they sit because the oil is super hot, even the oil that's on the tortilla itself. And then this is actually important anytime you fry, whether it's, French fries or fish or chicken. You want to salt as soon as they come out, even while there's still oil present. Give them a little shake. What happens when you put salt on hot fried food is that it's reabsorbed back in, whereas if you waited until this cooled down and then salted, the salt will just stay on the surface. By the way, this apron, my friend made this in Mexico City. His name is Damien. He's awesome. Highly recommend. So I'm just going to peel the garlic because we don't want to blend garlic peel. The oregano, you can pull the leaves off if you want. Fresh oregano imparts a pretty strong flavor even just sitting on top of the veg while they roast. One of the reasons why I like this sauce a lot is because it's so easy. You just roast the veg and then throw it all in the blender. I'm gonna add a little bit of coriander, a little bit of cumin, and some white vinegar. All right. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to thin it out a little bit. Also, I want it to be a little bit chunky. If I was doing this for tamales or enchiladas, I might want it a little bit thicker. Taste. That's good. Okay. That looks good. So this is shredded rotisserie chicken. I'm going to just toss it in the sauce. And you don't want the sauce too loose. I want the chicken to absorb the flavor of the sauce. Let's say you were only making this for 2 people and you wanted to use half the chicken. You could make the sauce, freeze a pint of it, and then next time you want to make chilaquiles or chicken tacos actually would be really good. Just pull it out. Or you could make enchiladas. So yeah, it's a really versatile sauce. So I'm gonna top this with our chicken. I just have some Monterey Jack here. If you have some Oaxacan cheese, that would be great. You could use queso fresco, but you're not going to get quite that melty deliciousness. Monterey Jack's just good too. Cool. All right, I'm just going to run this under the broiler for maybe a minute or 2. This is one of those situations where you really need to know your broiler. I know that these ovens suck and that the broilers don't really work that well. So I have the rack on the highest position, but this is not the point where you want to walk away and, go deal with kids or, make a phone call or text anybody, because depending on your broiler, it could take literally 30 seconds.
You want to fry an egg while do you have enough time?
Yes, I'm sure. So I like my chilaquiles with a fried egg on top. Wow, just barely warm. It's like broiling under a candle. Thanks, Wolf. Since I'm already using schmaltz in the vegetables, I thought, why not fry an egg in schmaltz? I mean, how bad can that be? So you want to get a really nice hot pan. Throw a little bit of schmaltz in there. Make sure it's nice and hot. You should start to see little wisps of smoke. I'm going to go ahead and crack the egg into this little bowl just to be ready. I'm going to go ahead and drop this egg in. Yes. Fry, egg fry. And in case you didn't believe me, look, the cheese isn't even melted yet. Anybody got a blowtorch? Okay, I'm tired of waiting. And we at least have a little bit of browning. That actually does look really good. All right. Oh, this looks so good. All right, let's get the cheese pull. Yes. Oh my God, that is what you want to see.
Take that, internet. Take that,
yes.
Internet. So this is like 2 servings on the cheat tray?
Also, I have my schmaltz fried egg.
Oh, I forgot that we even fried it.
Right. Yeah, well, it was like half an hour ago. All right, so toppings. As with a lot of Mexican food, there's always the accoutrement. So definitely I need a little bit of freshness from onion and some cilantro, a little radish for color. This is queso fresco, just nice little fresh cheese. I'll do a little dollop of crema just to cut the heat. A little bit of avocado, a squeeze of lime, obviously. That looks really good. All right, so I'm gonna invite my friend Matt to come and join me, but I actually don't want to eat that. I want to eat this.
Matt, are you mad about that?
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
not mad at all about that.
oh look, Ryan, you're just in time. I like the sheet tray better. Yeah.
Right into the.
Oh, this smells so bomb.
That's really good.
Nice and crunchy.
This is so good.
Can I eat on top of it?
Go do whatever you do. You.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, it's so beautiful. No one will eat it.
I know.
I'll eat it.
I'm glad you like it. I'm glad that you were into this idea of like eating off the sheet tray. But that's the thing about this. It's like it's total comfort food. It's like it's not pretentious. It's easy to make. It's easy to share. And a lot of fun to eat on a sheet tray. So try it.
It's a lot of fun to eat.
It is. Yeah. Use your hands. Am I just building now?
Yes. Colton, let's linger on this for just a second.
Let's cast a lingering gaze. on this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what's happening?
Everything you see that the light touches will one day be yours.